Hello everyone, it is Tom Hernandez and Matt Hernandez here from Keller Williams Studio City and the Hernandez Team. Today we are going to be talking about real estate and inflation and how it's affecting the real estate market today. All right guys, hey, thanks for tuning in. Matt, today I really wanted to talk to you about kind of what's going on in real estate right now, and I'd hope to kind of take a bird's eye view out and kind of say, like, what are the three things that are kind of affecting, the United States, maybe even the world right now?
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, top of my head, like, what everybody's talking about right now is going to be gas. That's
gas prices.
Everybody's talking about that.
Right.
Inflation, and our interest rate bump.
And interest rates,
absolutely. We're a little bit above 6%, and these are the three topics that is pretty much, you top in going to any cafe, any restaurant, somebody's had one of these conversations.
Yeah, whether you're tuning into a news channel, those are going to be probably the three big topics going on every major network right
Absolutely.
now. Let's kind of zero in and get a little bit more hyper-local then and talk about, like, how are these things affecting real estate and inflation, and how can real estate kind of help with inflation, I think, is kind of what we want to go with today.
Yeah. Well, I think naturally, like, as time is progressing, real estate has really solidified itself as really an asset that's really starting to show itself as time moves on as something that can be able to hedge against, downward markets or inflation or recessions, things like that. So it's definitely proven over time that it's a suitable asset that most people should really take advantage of.
Right, because as price of goods are going up, which inflation causes, those rents go up as well, right?
Correct.
And if they have a 4-unit building and they were collecting $2,000 a month in rent, and now they're collecting $2,200 a month in rent for each one of those units, that's $800 more a month they're bringing in that they could use to offset the increase in gas prices that they're paying and
Correct.
Stuff like that.
Gas prices, goods, housing, everything is starting to slowly rise. So as you switch over to a little bit more investment, you're turning your asset into cash flow, and you're kind of just teetering. You're going with it.
Right.
I can tell you right now with inflation, there's going to be there's going to be three sets of classes of people that are not going to benefit from inflation. One of them is going to be the people that are not going to have their money in the game.
Okay.
Sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Two are people going to be, succumb, with good amount, big amounts of debt.
Right.
And three is going to be our lazy equity.
Lazy equity.
Lazy equity are, people that use their home as just a primary residence.
Got you. So they're not taking the money out of their house to invest in real estate.
Correct.
So they're sitting on equity, but it's just not doing anything
for
them.
It's trapped.
Gotcha.
It's trapped in the loan. They have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity, but it's just sitting there not doing anything.
Gotcha.
So we kind of call that lazy equity, and, you could do a HELOC, you could do a cash out refi and go and buy a multi-unit. And now you've turned that, money that was trapped into an asset that's going to be giving you cash flow. And like you said, that's going to be something that's going to help you hedge against, a recession or inflation, things like that. In regards to interest rates, I mean, we're at above 6%. Do you know
90 days ago, we were at like 3.5, 3.75%, and it's now, the middle of June 15th-ish, and interest rates are over 6%.
Yeah. So, like we said, there's a group that was, hey, I got 3.5%, I'm cool. I got my $3,500 payment, $4,500 payment, and then 60 days later, completely wiped out.
Yeah.
There's also another set of buyers that sticker shock.
Yeah, right. I mean, especially when you look at LA, we're the movie capital of the world. I mean, we've got more high-end executive jobs here in LA, so there is a class of people here that they make enough money to make a $3,600 payment or a $4,600 payment. It's that sticker shock.
Sticker shock. Also, I can tie in there, fear of the unknown. How much inflation are we really going to see? I was kind of joking around about this with you earlier today. Like, I kind of feel like I'm the old head now, thinking I can go get a burger for under $10 or $12. I mean, I'm now naturally seeing the natural rise of inflation when you hear our grandparents or something like that say they could get a milkshake and fries for 19 cents, and you're just
Right.
like, how is that possible? But
Yeah.
now I'm naturally seeing how it plays into a day to day, your lifestyle and things like that.
Absolutely. So I think when people get over that sticker shock, they'll probably get back into the real estate game, or they'll realize that this is just the cost of doing business right now.
It's the yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
There's also a lot of jobs here in LA still. I mean, when you look at it, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of unfilled jobs, and I think the problem, we were listening to that economist talk about saying that, and these jobs, they can't afford to live here
Mhm.
at the amount of money that they're going to make there. So yeah, they're making $25 an hour, but it's costing them $3,000 a month to live in these apartments. So we're finding that they're not coming here right now to work for these jobs that are there. So we've got a class of people that are making a lot of money, and then we've got another class of people with that are kind of sitting on the sidelines saying, yeah, well, when you pay me some more, I'll come into LA and I'll fill those jobs, right?
Yeah. Not only that, but a lot of more people are working from home.
Yeah.
A lot more people are working from home in that aspect. I thought that when we originally shut down from COVID, that rents were going to be the first thing that people were going to, hey, sorry, can't make it.
Right.
And what did we find out? That most people,
The
opposite, right? They were willing to let their car payments go. They were willing to let their credit cards go into default. They were willing to let almost everything go other than the housing.
Yeah.
So it really shows us how important our mind shift has kind of switched towards things like that.
Right.
It was completely backwards. And not only that, but the banks were also letting us, with the moratorium, they were also letting us add the unpaid balances to the back end.
Yeah.
So the banks don't even want to lose in this game either.
Yeah, I mean, I think they learned a lot from the last crash. They realized that when they were foreclosing on properties, they were now taking over somebody else's problem,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had to carry that, and then they had to resell it back on the market at a discount, and then the investor who bought it. He was losing too, because he tried to mark the property up, and the appraisers couldn't match the increase in value because all they had were comps from the foreclosure price.
Right.
So I think they learned that it was just a trickle-down bad move for everybody. And this time around, if there were people that were behind in their payments, they said, hey, we'll work out a payment program with you, or we'll add it to the back of your debt. So even if we do see this shift happening, for sure, foreclosures aren't probably going to be coming up
I don't think so.
as well, because more people have equity now than ever before. The big thing in 2005, 6, and 7, where they were buying properties with no money down,
Mm-hmm.
first with a piggyback second, and when the market crashed, they had no skin in the game, so they could easily walk away.
Yeah.
And right now, people are putting 10, 15, 20% down.
Yeah.
So that's probably not going to see that shift either.
One of the other things is what about the homeowner that has got their 3% rate locked? How are we going to get those guys to want to shift and go buy something somewhere else at 6%?
I think that's going to definitely be a future conversation that you and I have been kind of talking and looking down the road as real estate agents, as the future is going to be, hey, I want to sell my house, but I got $500,000 at 3.25%,
Right.
and you want me to sell this house and then go buy another house and pay it at 6. So I think you and I were talking that the banks are going to probably have to get smart and start making some of these loans assumable.
That would be helpful.
Right? Because now imagine that you've got a house and you can tell a buyer that, hey, you're going to buy my house for $800,000, $500 I'll let you assume, and you can take $500,000 worth of debt at 3.25, and then we'll piggyback another loan maybe at that 6 or 7%.
I may even pay an extra premium for something like that.
Right?
So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like
I
you
agree.
said, that's a conversation for another time. Maybe we could do another topic on that. But
Yeah.
this is another natural thing that we're seeing when we're talking to homeowners. Is like, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
Why am I going to go, collect this debt at a higher rate? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
So what are the things that we're focusing and tracking right now for our market is what days on market?
Days on market. We want to take a look at what property, the amount of volume of properties that are going from active to pending.
Right.
We want to keep track of that. Inventory, right? How much inventory are we running on? And historically, where were we at before, and then where were we moving forward.
Got you. And price reductions.
Price reductions.
Right? We're starting to see that happen.
We're starting to see more price reductions.
Yeah.
So we want to keep track of those 4 items to see, where the market's shifting, how the buyers are reacting.
Right.
Are we floating sideways for a bit? Are we still increasing in price? Are we decreasing? We're kind of just in that awkward phase to where, it could shift any way at any moment. So
yeah, I mean, I think when you look at stock market's down a lot, crypto market's down a lot. I think people are taking their cash and they don't really know what to do. And you mentioned the other day where conversations with a lot of buyers where I'm going to wait for the market to dip, right?
That's
now
my favorite,
now
yeah.
the dip is coming, and now they're afraid because they don't know the dip is kind of here, but now there's so many outlier circumstances that are there that are making them uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of now afraid to get in. So you've been waiting for this time,
Yeah.
and now you're still sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But I think getting back to the original conversation, that really real estate is their best investment.
I mean, I think so. It's been proven, like I said earlier, it's proven itself to be a very formidable asset class to really put your money. Like you said earlier, I don't really think it's beneficial for you to sell your home or whatever asset that you're in and just leave it in cash.
Right.
It's the inflation. It just doesn't make sense. You pulled out $500,000, but it's not really worth $500,000 anymore.
Right.
The inflation and the cost of goods are all going up, and the dollar is only depreciating.
Right.
So what better avenue to put it into something that's been proven, something that's gonna give you cash flow, something that's gonna appreciate. Also, if you do rent it out, the rents are starting to go up. It just makes sense.
Right. So the best advice we could give to some clients right now in hedging against inflation is to take that lazy equity out of their home and now invest it into some real estate that can produce some income, because if inflation continues to grow, the rents are going to grow, and they're actually going to increase the money that they're bringing in. And historically, rents have never gone down. And especially here in LA, we have definitely more homeowners or more people that want to live here than we have homes. There's no more vacant, there's no more raw land out here for us to build on, right?
There was one small moment during COVID when it first hit. I remember because I was looking for a renter for my apartment, and I had to keep lowering it because, nobody knew what was going on. Everything was shutting down, and I had to lower it. And that was the only time that I can remember where I saw a slight dip, and my tenant got a good deal on it. But I best be sure I'm kind of slowly getting it back up to market. But it was just kind of one of those things where I kind of had to bite the bullet a little bit on it and just say, hey, look, I got to get someone solid in here that pays on time, and I did it. So.
All right, so I guess to recap in our conversation, really in the big US of A conversation, it's interest rates, it's gas prices, and good old inflation is kind of our big topics. And then when we zoom into that local, obviously those things are playing into our local market, and our best advice to everybody is really going to be invest in real estate, take that lazy equity out of your home and put it into real estate investments, so that way you can collect more rents and help offset that inflation that we're all feeling. Yeah, Matt?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
And if you're on the fence about possibly even purchasing, this is kind of that make or break time that we've all been talking about.
Right.
This is a moment where you can choose to jump in, or you might be sitting on the sidelines for a little bit longer.
Yeah. So listen, if you guys have any thoughts, any questions, any comments, would love to talk about what we can help you do with your equity in your house, or even maybe if you're a first-time home buyer right now and you want to jump in and get going. There's never a bad time to own real estate. Right now, a dip's coming, so there's some good deals to be had out there. Reach out to us. There should be a link down below in this video that you can book a calendar meet with us, and we'd love to kind of help you on that real estate journey. Yeah, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.